On the telephone now is the president-elect of the East Carolina University Student Government Association, Michael King. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Nice to have you on. I understand you're also going to appear live tonight with Terry and Michael, Terry Williams and Michael Overton on Greenville Grit. So we appreciate you got a busy media day.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to have fun with all this. So it's kind of my first airtime. I'm still kind of a kid. So
where are you from, Michael?
I'm actually from a small town, a little south of Richmond, Virginia. It's called Prince George.
Oh yeah, I know where Prince George is. Yeah. Okay. And what are you a junior now at ECU?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
Finance.
Well, congratulations on winning the election. As I understand it, you'll take over. You'll be sworn in as the Student Government Association president later this month.
Yes, sir. End of the month. I think it's April 27th.
All right. Now, as I understand it, you are part of a group of people organizing a protest at the Greenville City Council meeting tomorrow night. I want to talk about that, but you actually spoke at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting in late March when the Planning and Zoning Commission made the decision to change, actually they can't change it, only the City Council can change it, and they're going to vote tomorrow night to probably do that from what we hear. But the Planning and Zoning Commission is recommending to the Greenville City Council that they change the ordinance that allows 4 people to rent a single home together in the university area. And someone told me that you yourself actually are renting in that area. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I'm actually in a 4-bedroom home in the university neighborhood that has been approved for the permit. And so that's one of the funny things they brought up when I spoke there. They were like, well, you're already grandfathered in, which I understand, and your house will be, you'll be fine personally. And that actually made me really mad when they said that. I was like, well, yes, that's true. But, even if I was SGA president coming in or not, I mean, I'm trying to look out for future generations of ECU students or anyone that would be able to, be interested in living here. And that's kind of what makes me mad about politics, at the national level and especially here at the local level. It kind of just seemed like they were just, well, you should just be looking out for yourself, which that doesn't make any sense to me.
So tell me about the protest. The idea here is what? That ECU students believe that the Greenville City Council is not treating them fairly by disallowing 4 people to rent together?
Yeah, that's the idea. The thing is, excuse me. The thing is, we see it as ECU students haven't really known what's going on at City Council and, with all these ordinance and stuff, past 30 years probably. And what we're trying to do is just, if all the students knew what was going on, if they understood the ramifications of this, there's no way that City Council, with all of us students showing up and, getting angry and pissed off that they're going to do this, there's no way they can have all of us there and say, yeah, we're going to take it away. It's all a financial issue. Like I said, I'm from Virginia. My tuition is $20,000 a year. I'm paying loans back for 10 years or so after I get out of college. And this is just one more thing. You have 4 people in a house. You're splitting rent 4 ways, groceries, utilities, and so on. And it just adding this on, taking one person out of the house. I couldn't afford to live in the house I'm in right now, and that's the whole thing. The biggest issue for students is finances, especially these days. And if they want to take out one person out of the house, what they're really going to be doing is taking out all 4 people out of the house, because there's no way 3 people are going to be able to afford these houses.
Now, the argument that we're hearing on the other side is that the neighborhood, that they want to increase home ownership in that area. And, of course, this is the area adjacent to the university. And there have been, let's face it, there have been some significant issues with code violations over there, people parking on the grass. Where students are there going to be late-night parties. I mean, Michael, and people that want to live in that area are saying that if there are too many students in that area, that it becomes a little bit unbearable to be in there with that many students. Again, what's your response to that?
I mean, I'm realistic. I can level. I'm not going to be completely biased and say that they're wrong completely, and students are not going to party or anything. I understand that. At the end of the day, we are college students. We are going to be up late, partying and whatnot. But at the same time, to say this is where I try to get out of just personalizing it to myself and to students. We're making it cheaper for us. I almost look at it as a political standpoint. If these city council members say they're pro-business and everything like that, then adding a regulation is not pro-business. The way I see it is, if you take us out of these houses, the landlords can't reinvest. These are nice houses. At the end of the day, if they have 4 students living in a house that can afford to pay all this money to live in them, that means they can reinvest in the homes. They're making them nicer. I live in a beautiful house. And it's just a trade-off. A lot of the residents living in here are professors and work for the university. And if they didn't have us living here, going to school here, they wouldn't have. We're paying their salaries. So I feel like it's just a trade-off. They have to give up a little bit. We have to give up a little bit. And at the same time, I would like to build a relationship with them. If I could go to them and speak, let's break down this wall between homeowners and students and say, we'll try to, be more respectful of you and your home, and if you have children, whatnot, being up late, and you will back off a little bit on trying to get rid of this foreign-related rule.
What's been the response and how have you recruited kids to be part of the protest, Michael? And what are your expectations for tomorrow night?
Well, it started with just talking to my team, the newly elected exec. We've been working with them, telling them what's going on, along with the current exec that's for SGA. They're on board with us. They understand what's going on. And it actually started when I was campaigning in February. I actually went around, 50, 60 organizations campaigning, and one of the parts of my platform was, to build a better relationship with city council. And actually, I was in a couple of the business organizations, and a couple questions came up, and they're like, well, I've heard that Councilwoman Blackburn has brought up an ordinance to repeal the foreign-related rule. And that's almost where it started, which was really awesome for me to hear, because I was like, all right, well, maybe the students actually are aware of what's going on. So since then, I've kind of taken the same approach as when I was campaigning. I've gone to some of these organizations, told them the facts of what's going on, and, they're trying to repeal the foreign-related rule. And it's just been, honestly, building up over and over and over again. I've actually had people come up to me and said, we've heard about what's going on. So basically, I'm in an organization, and everyone that I work with is organizations. So we know people, they know people, and the word's just been spreading, and it's got me really excited about it.
So how many people do you think will show up?
I honestly believe it'll be 200 plus.
Really?
Obviously, I want to be realistic, so 1 to 200, like I told you earlier. But at the same time, if this catches fire, I could really see it being more than 200 students.
That'll be interesting. I don't know if we've in the modern era. I don't know if we've had students marching on City Hall before. So
yeah, I mean, I was there actually a year and a half or so ago when they actually voted to have foreign-related. It was actually one of my old presidents of my fraternity that spoke and kind of did the same thing we're doing right now. And we love the houses and everything that's going on. So the way I see it, we are, we might be kids at party and stuff like that, but we're also 18 to 20-some-year-olds that are getting degrees and that are intelligent young professionals. So they understand what's going on. So I really believe that we can fight this thing.
I think McGee's got a question for you. I want to ask you one more thing, though. We've noticed that there is similar activity going on in Chapel Hill.
Yes.
That the Chapel Hill Student Government Association president has been coming to City Hall meetings, city town council meetings, and those kind of things, and that this is an issue in Chapel Hill as well. Now up there, they have a unrelated rule, and the students are asking for it to be removed and to allow as many as 6 people to live in a home. Here we've got a situation where we got 4 unrelated, and the city council we think is going to vote tomorrow night to go back to 3 unrelated.
Right.
We think that based on the fact that Rick Croskery, the guy that we think is the swing vote, is now showing his hand and saying he's going to vote to go back to 3 unrelated. So I guess my question is there some sort of coordinated effort going on between SGAs in other cities? Have you had any contact with the SGA chair at Chapel Hill? Is this something you guys are working on together for student rights, or is it just coincidental?
I think it's more coincidental. I've actually tried to get in contact with SGA over there, but I haven't actually had an opportunity to do that and actually talk to them and, see their approach going with this. But at the same time, I mean, if you look at it, students, I mean, I guess everywhere are getting angry and pissed off that they're not being respected. Their rights are not being respected. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go for a 6 unrelated rule or anything like that, but if you look at the facts around other cities, especially college towns in North Carolina, we had the lowest one of the number of unrelated people that can even live in a home. So it really doesn't make sense for the city to drop us back to 3.
I think Trent's got something for you here.
Hey, Michael, good morning. This is Trent. And I'm just curious, do you think the number of people that could potentially show up in support of what you're doing and what you've organized will have the kind of impact that it could potentially have on the city council? Or do you think it's going to be something that you say or may be allowed to say tonight that's going to have the impact that could change? I'm sorry, tomorrow night, that could change the minds of some city council members. What do you plan on doing or saying? I know you're going to act certainly in a civil manner. I know that you will, and that your group will. But do you plan on? Is it something that you think you can say, or do you think when they see the number of people that are in support of this and behind you on this, do you really think that's going to have an impact where the vote might change?
Right. Well, the way I see it, I mean, I realize that all the members, they know how they're going to vote. They're going in tomorrow, and they've already decided that they're going to repeal it. But, I honestly believe that they probably know the gist of what I'm going to say and the argument that I'm going to make. But simply, I think the number of students that show up, fill the chambers, and I think that'll speak a lot louder than anything that I can say tomorrow. I think that'll make them realize that the ECU students are involved and they are starting to realize what's going on within the city. And whatever I have to say, I think will be voided by the amount of, respectful, intelligent, well-informed students are going to get to them. And, regardless if that makes them change their mind or not, it'll definitely be in the back of their head that this isn't over and that they're going to be having to be dealing with us for a long time.
All right, Michael W. King making his first move onto the political scene. Are you going to be like the governor one day?
I hope so. That's the long-term plan. I would love that, to be honest with you.
On the right path.
I get the feeling you're kind of enjoying this, Michael.
Oh, I'm having a great time, trust me.
All right, well, we'll be interested to see how many folks show up tomorrow night. We'll see what kind of Pied Piper you are and see how many students show up at City Hall for the protest tomorrow night. Back in the 70s, when I was a student at ECU, we were pretty good at showing up for protests. We'll see we'll see 40 years later what you guys have got.
I hope so. We'll see. I can only hope.
All right, Michael King. Good luck, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Michael will be on tonight on Greenville Grit with Michael Overton and Terry Williams tonight too. He's getting a lot of media this week as this big city council meeting approaches and the vote tomorrow night on whether or not they're going to repeal this ordinance that allows 4 students to live together in one house. Michael was saying that it's a students' rights issue, and there are a lot of people on campus, as he put it, PO'd. That's kind of what he said.